in Iceland for up to.
That's one of the most creative things that the Icelandic people did, is that they converted from herring fishery, when the herring fishery collapsed about 30 years ago, to tourism.
Yep.
And tourism constitutes about 80% of the economy of Iceland. And man, oh man, they really do cater for tourists. They're very, very welcoming. Everybody speaks English. The streets are spotlessly clean. And it's actually cheaper to fly to Reykjavik than it is for us to fly to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, finish up, Joe.
Go ahead.
Okay, with that, guys, it's 12:15. I'd like to welcome everybody to the January 31st Zoom meeting of Rotary Toronto Eglinton. We have 22 members currently on, and we have one guest. I kind of mentioned her earlier, but Joanna Diaz, who is looking at our club, potentially becoming a member. So this is her first meeting with us. And with that, I'd like to call upon Chad to give, since I don't think Sarah's here, is to give our reflection for today.
Chad here today.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
Chad is here today. Yeah, I mean, I should have been made sure about Sarah, so I don't really have anything ready, but we do have Joanna here as a guest, so it might be a good opportunity to recite, now that I've got it to memory, the four-way test, which is sort of guides us as Rotarians in decisions. So first is it the truth? Second is it fair to all concerned? Third is
fair to all concerned.
Yes, is it fair to all concerned? Third is, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth is it beneficial to all concerned? So that's the four-way test. Sorry, it wasn't a more original reflection, but it's always a good one to read the four-way test.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks.
And we have a birthday coming up, and Bill's not here, but Bill Martin is celebrating a birthday on February 4th.
He just signed in.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Bill, if you're there, oh, you are. Bill, I just want to wish you a happy birthday for February 4th.
Yeah, I'm here, but I was going to be at the meeting next Wednesday to talk about my birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, you can talk about it then.
You're premature.
It'll be after your birthday, because it'll be the 7th. So I want to catch you before your birthday hits. So anyways, happy birthday. So, and
thank you.
Jackie, I don't think Erin is on yet, or is she? Is she on yet?
Oh, no, yeah.
I don't see her, but anyway, I don't know if you want to wait.
Have you got something some announcements?
We can go to announcements if we want to do that. That'd be good, because
hey, Tom, have you got Erin's phone number? Tom, you got Erin's phone number?
I will look.
Welcome back to my channel.
John, are you watching something else while we're trying to have a meeting here?
Yes. Trying to find out when Bria's coming.
Oh, then mute yourself. Okay. Then I guess I'll go on while we're waiting for Erin. I might as well do our business, and this helps because Josepha has to leave anyway. So let me go into our presence announcement. So I'd like to welcome Arthur Parks, who is a new member to the club. He had his 10-day waiting period, and we had no objections. So he's now an official member of our club, and that brings us up to 51 members. And with that, as everyone knows, we have been looking long and hard for a president-elect for this year who will become president next year. And at our first meeting in the new year, when Dawn was with us, she had announced that if there's anyone who's interested in joining to look at the position of the president-elect and president for next year, Arthur came to Dawn and myself and said that he would be interested in taking part and taking on this role, since we had no one else who wanted to take it on. So we have gone through our due diligence with him. Both Don and I have interviewed him for the role, let him know what is going on with the role. And he seems very keen on it. So on behalf of so I would like to put a motion to the club on behalf of the President-elect Selection Committee and the Board of Directors who have approved him. I would like to nominate Arthur Parks for the position of President-elect for the 2023-2024 Rotary year. So that's this year. What that means, if he's approved, this would make Arthur a club president for next year, starting July 1st, 2024. And as per our constitution, any member being nominated for this position has been with the club less than a year,
Hi, Aaron.
needs
Jack,
needs
just a
approval
reminder,
from the
so
district
meeting
governor.
ready For you, take care, bye-bye.
Which we have received. So John Burns has given his approval. And also for this to pass, we need to have a majority of the membership on this call to approve this motion with a minimum of 17 members, which we have, to present to a vote. So I would like to put that motion forward. Having said that, Don and I both have found that he could be a great candidate for the club. The board has said that they would help. I told them that I would help him out as he moves through this. He is not a new Rotarian, as we all know. He is an older Rotarian. He's got a lot of enthusiasm, and he's got the time on his hands to do this. So are there any discussion points on the motion to bring Arthur Parks forward as our president-elect for this year? And I can't see everybody, so just speak if you have anything you'd like to say.
Arthur was a former member of our club, and he had moved away, and again, he's moved back to the Toronto area. He was a very, very good friend of mine, and yes, I have a lot of respect for Arthur, so yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll second what Walter said.
Okay. Stephen knew him as well. Anyone else? Okay, so I'm going to put this to a motion. Do I have a seconder on this? Walter Sutka is going to second it. All in favor of making Arthur Parks our president-elect for 2023-24, please raise your hands. I'm assuming everybody's saying yes. Can anyone, if anyone is objecting to this, can they just let me know and say I object? Okay, fantastic. So everyone, we do have a president-elect for our Rotary year, and we will have a president for next year. Arthur will be starting the PETS program on Saturday, and he'll be going through a 6-week program for that, which is the president-elect training. So he's very excited. He did not come on the call today because he didn't want to be put in a position where I was talking about him to his face. So he let me know he wasn't going to be on the call. But thank you for all of that. And with that, the president-elect selection committee is now going to be looking at our search for a president nominee who will become president-elect for next year. So we will be reaching out to people who might be president in the next 2 years. So just keep an ear out for that. And if you are interested in looking at the president's role in the next 2 years, in the 25-26 Rotary year, please reach out to myself or Jackie or Lars or Jim Moore. We're all on the selection committee, and we will take that to the board. So with that, is Aaron on yet, Jackie?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Hi,
so
Aaron.
I'll do the rest of my announcements after Aaron's done. So I'll let you go and introduce Aaron.
Thank you very much, and Rotarians. I'm going to share this conversation with Erin McLean, who some of you know very well. She's the Director of Alumni and Volunteer Engagement at the Trails. Pardon? What? At Trails Youth Initiative. I just, for our new members, I just want to tell you a little bit about the people that we're going to be talking about today. You know, my mother used to say that you're never truly past unless people stop talking about you. And at Toronto Eglinton, we chose, that is how we remember some of our wonderful eccentric members. We have set up scholarships in their behalf so that once a year we talk about them again. So I'm really pleased to say that today we're going to be presenting the John and Donna Bonnick Award and the Pat Bartlett Richards Award. They were both outstanding, wonderful members of our club. John was just a delightful member, a charter member of our club. And for the new people, that means he was with us right from the beginning of our club. John originally established a scholarship at Trail in honor of his wife, Donna. And he took it very, very seriously and read all the applications and was just always was so pleased to introduce them to us. And so when John passed, we decided to continue the Donna Scholarship and rename it the John and Donna Bonnick Scholarship. So Pat Bartlett Richards was also a really colorful member of our club, an artist, a philanthropist. Pat was instrumental in financially supporting our club's initial $250,000 contribution to establish Trails 31 years ago. Pat greeted everyone with a big hug, and I'm sure you all have wonderful memories of Pat. She maintained her Trails connection over the years, supporting many individual students. Her home was always open to those who needed a shoulder to cry on, or a meal, or a place to stay. We're just so blessed to be able to remember these two wonderful Rotarians. I'd now like to call upon Erin McLean, who will introduce you to the 2023 recipients of these awards. Erin, take it away.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here. I can see a lot of tiles, and I know there's a second screen, some familiar faces and some new ones. As Jackie said, my name is Erin McLean, and I have been a member of the Trails team since January of 2021. So I've just completed 3 full years, embarking on my 4th, and being a part of Trails is by far the most rewarding professional experience I've ever had. As a refresher, just to kick things off today, I'll go over the mission of Trails. That is to challenge and equip vulnerable youth from at-risk areas of Toronto to become contributing members of the community. And we've been fulfilling that mission for over 31 years as we were founded in 1992. We do so through the 4 Seasons, 4 Years, 4 Life program. And the last part of that program, 4 Life, is where I get to spend the majority of my time. Having been around for over 30 years, we have a lot of alumni that range from age 16 all the way to 40 plus. And I get to spend my time working with them. The 4 Life program is something that 30 years from now, we want to be as established as the 4 Seasons, 4 Years program, really designed to help our alumni. And one of the ways we do that is through the support of post-secondary education. So as a whole, the Trails Bursary Program has been around for over 20 years, and the 2 awards we're going to talk about in just a second have become part of our execution of the bursary program and have had a substantial impact on the recipients. What's unique about this year of the Trails Bursary Program is it's the first time that we're welcoming a double cohort into eligibility in the program. So a couple of years ago, before COVID, we decided the world needed more trails. So rather than entering only 20 new participants into our program, we decided to welcome 40 in each year. And we got that process started, and then COVID hit. So we paused for a little bit, but we're going to be at the completion of our doubling mission by 2026. So after 4 years in the program and then the completion of high school in grade 11 and 12, our first double cohort was eligible to enter post-secondary this past September. So with the new increase in numbers and the summer application window and the fall application window, we currently have 45 recipients in our bursary program. As we continue in this double cohort era, that means that this number will grow exponentially. And by 2030, we anticipate we will have a steady 75 recipients in the bursary program at any given time. So that's some substantial growth. Like last year, we are thrilled to have the ongoing opportunity to acknowledge 2 outstanding recipients with awards made possible by the Rotary Club of Toronto Eglinton, the Bonnick Award and the Pat Bartlett Richards Award. Unfortunately, this year, both of our recipients, because they are astute students, are in classes and couldn't miss their coursework today. But I have special ways to acknowledge both of them and share a little bit about each one of them. Let's start with the Bonnick Award. The 2023-2024 recipient is Iris Zhu. I've been fortunate to get to know Iris quite closely over the past 3 years, seeing tremendous individual growth on her behalf, which is one of the rewards of my job. It's very special to kind of have an insight into seeing these young adults come into their own. Iris wrote a very heartfelt letter, which I will share after today, which can be distributed to all members, and it really lets her personality shine through. But before I send the full letter, I'm going to read some excerpts from what she wrote. So now I'm speaking as Iris. So these are her words. Before Trails, I was unconfident. I was a shy student who didn't really venture out of her comfort zone. I completed my schoolwork and I took part in activities that my parents encouraged me to do. I was really just average and I enjoyed it, but Trails changed my perspective. At Trails, I was pushed out of my comfort zone. And you know what I learned? Stepping out of your comfort zone creates the best memories. It creates the most fulfilling experiences, and it's where I do my best learning. There was always a sense of accomplishment afterwards, because I couldn't do the thing that made me uncomfortable if I didn't risk a little bit. It is the best lesson I learned, and I carry it with me from Trails. Whenever times get tough or I need to do something that makes me uncomfortable, I know in the long run it will challenge me, and I'll feel exhilarated to know that there's so much more waiting for me after. One of my goals for my future is to complete my CPA and become a chartered professional accountant. When I started my post-secondary studies, I entered in the accounting and financial management program at the University of Waterloo. Ever since I started, I had some regret about my choice. When I started, I didn't enjoy my program. I didn't enjoy the content. I was trying to find my niche. I took co-op positions in taxes and bookkeeping, and I hated it. However, last winter, I was able to join the Office of the Auditor General of Ontario, and I loved my job. It was something new every single day. I learned a lot, and everyone was so encouraging. This was when I decided to pursue my CPA. I officially signed up in April of 2023, and I'm working hard to reach that milestone. Thanks to Trails, I was able to develop this confidence. I've been a follower my entire life, but I learned to stand out and believe in myself. I took baby steps out into the world to do things I've always wanted to do, and I found the path I want to take. Without Trails, I don't think I would have been able to do this. Thank you to Rotary for choosing me as this year's bursary recipient. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I will work hard on its behalf. I know that this bursary award was given to me because of the path I took in university, and I promise I will continue to work hard. Thank you so much for your support. I know that without the community, I would never have become the person I am today, and I'm proud of who I am. So those were Iris's words, and I'm really moved to share them on her behalf because she is really, really remarkable. I think the best words that describe her is self-confidence and perseverance. I've seen her exhibit those things in spades over the last handful of years, and I knew deep down she would find her niche. It wasn't without struggle and a lot of doubt, but she really took the mentorship that's provided through the bursary program to heart, and she challenged herself in ways that I didn't think were possible when I first met her. She did a semester abroad last year, which was a huge step and an amazing growing opportunity for her. And beyond that, I've seen her accept networking opportunities, meet professionals for coffee, all towards working towards her goal of being best suited to challenge the CPA. And I'm so proud of her, and I know that she'll continue to exhibit those values in everything she does in her postgraduate goals. She's slated to graduate from the University of Waterloo this spring. So that's our John and Donna Bonnick Award winner. And then, not to be outdone, the Pat Bartlett Richards Award recipient is equally as impressive. And there's a special personal connection this year, which I'm really excited to share. Our recipient is Shawnice Dennis, another alumni who I've gotten to know very well over the years. And I think goal-driven and hardworking are the best ways to describe Shawnice. I'm going to share a quick bio, which highlights why this award recognition is so special. I'm honored to be these are now Shawnice's words. I'm honored to be the recipient of the Pat Bartlett Richards Award for this year. My name is Shawnese Dennis, and I was part of the Trails group Midnight Mafia, which graduated in the year 2009. Through my participation at Trails, I had the pleasure of meeting Pat, and we quickly built a mentoring relationship. Pat was so kind and charismatic with the best sense of fashion. She had so much to give and encouraged individuals like myself to reach for the stars. Growing up, many said I would never amount to anything, but Pat believed in me. Today, I'm a registered practical nurse working in the operating room at one of the leading community hospitals in the Toronto area. I'm pursuing my Bachelor of Science in Nursing at Ontario Tech University in Oshawa. I aim to become a nurse practitioner and provide care in rural areas of Canada. So that's Shawnee's bio, but it was really the phone call that I think I'd like to share with you now. So Shawnee's called me right after we decided she would be this year's recipient. She called me on October 3rd. I have it marked in my notebook when she called, and she was having some trouble navigating something OSAP related. And we worked through that. And then she said, and I know you wanted to talk to me. What was it about? So I told her that she was this year's award recipient of the award, and the line went quiet. And Shawnee's never is without words. And it was quiet for a second. And then we shared 15 minutes on the phone, and Shawnee's was in tears. She couldn't speak. She was just so moved and so emotional. And through her gathered breath, this is what she wrote to me. And I wrote it down as she was saying it because I was so overwhelmed with my own emotion, hearing how much this meant to her. And Shawnee said, and I quote, "Pat was so kind, and I just tried to live my life as she would have. And Trails has helped me to do that. I'm so honored to be recognized as someone representative of Pat." She couldn't say anything else. I said, take some time. And we got on the phone a few days later, which is when she shared the bio, and she just reflected on what it meant. I have a little note from her, and I'll send that quote. And I also am excited to send kind of her write-up, because she included a picture of herself and Pat back from when she was a participant, and they met for one of their mentoring relationships. This has been something that's been so meaningful to Shawnee's. And I can attest that Shawnee's, as a mentor, an active member of our alumni association, her hard work is paying off. As you heard, she's currently in a nursing program. And I'll just give a little shout out to say she was accepted into her top 2 programs for September of last year. And in addition, over the past year, she's been featured as part of Unity Health's Black History Month Behind the Mask campaign. There was a big article about her, which I will also include as a link to share so you can get to know her a little bit more. And she was even invited as a presenter to share her story to speak on cultural competencies at last year's provincial Registered Practical Nurses Association conference. So she's not only speaking on behalf of her community, but as a professional in her space, which is really remarkable. She spent last summer in a rural Northern Ontario community learning about nursing and working as a practical nurse. So her goals of professionally working in that space once she's a registered nurse is something I have no doubt she'll be able to do. So I'll pause there just because those were 2, I think, moving stories of alumni. Before I give another little bit of a highlight about Trails, I just wanted to ask if there's any questions about Shawnee's or Iris that I can answer on their behalf or about them. If there isn't, that's okay. Just wanted to leave space for it. So
maybe we could, I was just going to say, maybe we could get them to come to lunch at the tennis club one day.
I think if there was another opportunity, it's kind of hard when it's in the thick of the semester, especially because Iris is in Waterloo, and when Shawnee isn't in class, she's pretty much working in the hospital or sleeping for her shift. But I think outside of the semester, like into the spring or summer, if there's a lunch, I know both of them were hoping to attend today. I can gladly extend that invitation, or maybe if there's another visit to Trails in the spring or something, we could try to arrange to have them there that day too. That would be possible. But I'm sure they'd be honored to kind of participate in any setting if the schedule allows. So when I talked about the bursary program, it's one of the main pillars of the For Life program, but there's two programs that bookend it. It's the AIM mentorship program, which is for our newest alumni, our grade 11 and 12s. And then we have our Forward Resources program, which is really more about career connections and other types of mentorship. And I just wanted to highlight some of what's happening because it's all about our ongoing effort to really bring For Life to life, I'll say, in a way that's meaningful to our alumni. So this year we embarked on delivering AIM mentorship in a new way, and that's through group mentorship, and it's been remarkably successful. So far since September, with 3 formal AIM group mentorship events, we've engaged or connected with 35 unique alumni. And why this is so important is because we shifted from offering one-to-one mentorship, which is still available if somebody wants it, but we're offering new connectivity and experiential learning in the For Life program, which is important because it shows that we're mirroring what's been successful in the 4 Seasons, 4 Years program. So just Monday of this week, we had 20 grade 11 and 12 mentees and 4 alumni mentors attend a fine dining experience at the CN Tower. So we asked all of the kids, what would you like to do? What haven't you had the opportunity to do? What's an experience you'd like to have? And fine dining was without a doubt one of the top responses. So we sent them up the tower for Winterlicious, and they were able to connect for 2 hours as a peer group talking about plans for the future, experiencing something new. And it was so special to have that connectivity to trails. And the reason it's important is because these are going to be our future bursary recipients. So being able to know what they're doing, what they're thinking about for the future, better builds that connection all the way through the For Life program. And actually this year within bursary, we've launched a little bit of a pilot program for our 4th year students or our 5th year, some people who are in co-op programs, who are about to graduate. We just kicked off in January a career connections mentorship program. So each one of the students in the 9 about to be graduates of post-secondary school indicated what profession they want to get into, what they want to explore as a job. And we've partnered with some professionals in the space to try and help them grow that network. So upon graduation, they've got one step further. And this really just demonstrates that we're taking that mentorship model and that consistency model and building it through all our pillars, because we know it works so well in the 4 Seasons, 4 Years program. We really want to make sure that For Life is replicating that. So that's just a high level overview of some of the exciting things happening in For Life. And I'm happy to kind of answer any questions if you have them, or if that's something different than what you've heard in the past about the For Life program. I'm happy to chat about it. But before I open the floor, I just want to say on behalf of Trails, thank you to all the members of the Rotary Club of Toronto Eglinton for your long-standing and ongoing support. It continues to make a profound impact on multiple areas of Trails programming, and we're so appreciative. So thank you. And
Thank you, Aaron. Go
No
ahead,
problem.
Stephen, if you have a comment.
Yeah, comment and the question. The comment is I got to know both Pat and John very, very well. And they were not only 2 of the best people I met in Rotary, they were 2 of the very best people I met anywhere. And they would be thrilled they were around with the recipients. My suggestion is when you're talking about career development and stuff like that, put it in their mind once they settle into their career and they want to give back, Rotary is waiting for them.
Okay, of course. They're very aware of the impact. I think from your presence in the lodge to when they're on site, whether it's in program as participants or on our special alumni days, and they're out in the new fleet of canoes that we have, everybody's aware of the connection Rotary has and the impact that you make. And then for the personal connections that last year's recipients and the year before that and our 2 new honorees this year, they're well aware of the long-standing impact that Rotary has with Trails, but then Rotary has within the broader community as well.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jackie. You're muted, just so you know.
I would just like to give you a little bit of background to the members here. The John and Donna Bonnick Fund, we only have $2,000 left in the fund. It was part of John's estate donation, and the Pat Bartlett Richards Award, we only give 500 a year. So if anybody, you've heard about these wonderful people, and you've heard so well about how Trails manages these funds. If anybody would like to make an additional contribution, the foundation would be very happy to receive your funds. And also just a shout out to Tom Knott, who has taken on the championing Trails and organizes our annual visit and keeps close in touch with the staff and the kids. Tom, it's just great to have you doing this. Appreciate your effort.
Any other questions for Aaron? Can't see everybody, so if you do, just speak up. Tom?
I'd like to thank Aaron for coming. I think the club can take a look at the enthusiasm and the commitment and the involvement in the children and the kids that are on this program. If we can help one kid, it's so much better than a lot of the other things that we have tried to do. And they're helping so many, and they're not leaving them. They're continuing their work, and that's what Aaron's job is for life. It's tough, and I agree with Jackie. I think that supporting these kids for life makes more sense than anything, because they've already come through the program for 4 years. And they're people that believe in the program and people that understand what the program's giving them to their future. So the chance for success in for life is going to be a lot better than anything else we've seen. And Aaron, thank you.
It's my pleasure. I was excited to join in today. I'm always excited when I can come up to Trails, when members of the club come up for their visit. And as I said, I will share both letters. I'll send them off an email today, along with the links to some of those features of Shawnee's. And if there are any questions that come up afterwards, you can feel free to send me an email or send them through Jackie or Tom, and I'm happy to kind of provide any additional information. But it was my pleasure to join today, as always, to just celebrate the success of two of our alumni, which is made even more possible by the contributions of the club. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And Aaron, we're going to have Chad thank you officially on behalf of the club.
Okay.
I think Tom may have covered it pretty well there, but
yeah.
Well, I am champion, so I'm
okay,
supposed to do these
Chad,
things, you know.
Unless you have something to add, Tom can take credit for the thank you.
Yes, just thank you for being a great partner, and it's great that Pat and John and Donna, their legacy can be part of their legacy can be unlocking the potential of Iris and Shawnee's. It was a great story. So thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
Are you going to sing Happy Trails?
Oh, I don't think anybody wants my vocals.
Tom, you're singing enough for all of us.
So
Aaron, thank you. Thank you. If you'd like to head off, you can. I know you're probably busy and we have some business to take care of. And then, but thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure. I'll get that email off and I'll let you continue the meeting. But thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Aaron.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so I've finished all my my presence announcements for today. We have a couple of committee announcements, and then Jim's going to finish off the meeting with his international committee update, and he has some motions as well. But I wanted to grab Josepha before she left. She has to leave at 1. But Josepha, do you want to speak to the community service, the hygiene kits?
Yeah, just a reminder that next week, February 7th, after the Toronto Lawn and Tennis Club meeting, we're going to be packing hygiene kits. I say we, I'm not able to attend, but the wonderful community service committee has purchased the items. They're going to be bringing everything in. Dawn's going to be joining as well to help package and get everything down to Fred Victor. So there will be 75 kits packed next week.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Stephen, I'm going to lean on you to speak to the fundraiser event coming up.
Right. Okay. So on Thursday, the 15th of February, we've got the visit to the Elgin and Winter Garden Theatre, which takes place at between 5 and 7 in the evening. It should be a very interesting behind the scenes visit to see what goes on there. The cost is $35 a head. So far, we've only got 10 members. We can handle up to 30. I think I'm going to be back in town that week, so I'm going to be adding my name to the list. But we still have a lot of openings available, and if there's interest in it, we're going to arrange to have dinner afterwards at some local restaurant if there is sufficient interest in doing so. But in the meantime, what we really need are a lot more people to sign into this event, which they can do by going to our website, correct, David?
Yeah, the events website. I'll include the link on my follow-up email today so people can sign up that way.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a lot more people signing up.
Perfect. Thank you. It's a great facility. If you've never been to the Elgin Winter Garden Theater, it's an unbelievable theater complex. It's only one of its kind in the world now operating, so it's something to see. And one thing I went on, I forgot to do Happy Bucks today. Are there any Happy Bucks before Jim takes over the meeting? Everybody's very quiet, or they're on mute. Nobody? Speak up, because I can't see everybody. We got a lot of people on the call today. Okay. Well, then I'm going to pass it off to Jim to give his update on the International Committee and his motions. So Jim, off to you.
Okay, thank you, David. I have, first of all, a couple of updates on projects that we have going. Our Bujiri project in Uganda is proceeding well. And Joe, if you would like to jump in on that, you've been feeding all of us some great photos and pictures. So I'll let you take that on a little bit.
Well, it actually, thanks to the project manager, Rita, who has been very, very faithful in providing literally dozens, I dare say hundreds of photographs of the progress on the construction of the water supplies and the sanitary facilities for 5 schools in southeastern Uganda. It's progress after a very, very slow start. We were beginning to get worried about getting things underway. Over the last 9 months, it has been spectacular, and which is really quite remarkable because they worked all the way through 2 rainy periods and have made a lot of progress.
Oh, great. Thank you, Joe. The other project close to our club that is proceeding as well is the Karanda Hospital in Zimbabwe, the rehabilitation training program. That's well underway. I had an email from Dr. Paul there just a few days ago with some pictures as well. And they're also proceeding with building a new building in which their rehabilitation services will be offered. So that's also going well. Great news. The next item, I have 3 new projects where we are partnering with other Rotary clubs have initiated these projects, and we're partnering with them in a financial way. So I would like to present the motions and move that they be supported. Excuse me. The first is in Uganda, and this comes to us from the Bowmanville Rotary Club, which is the international partner for a club in Sande, Uganda, for a project that is a global grant, Bukareri Maternal and Child Health Project. And I would move that we support that in the amount of $3,000 through our club foundation. Do I have a seconder? Joe, thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? That looks like it's carried, and thank you very much. And a second project that we have is in Egypt. This is a project that's come to us through our friend Naveen Yasa from the Scarborough Club. And this is for a new project in the ongoing Ruta Rising Out of the Ashes initiative that she and her club support basically in the slum area of Cairo. And this is for the provision of semi-automated looms that will be used, number one, to teach the women of the area how to use the looms, and secondly, to produce articles using the looms that they use to help provide for their own benefit. And I would again move that we support this project in the amount of $2,000 through our club foundation. Do I have a seconder? Jackie? All those in favor? Any opposed? That also looks like it's carried. Thank you. And the final item that we have is from our friends at the Rustavi International Rotary Club in the country of Georgia. And this is a project that we've supported in the past, which is a project that they have started to support the Ukrainian refugee women who have ended up in Georgia because of the situation with the war in Ukraine. And this is providing them with skills training so that they can support themselves while they are refugees. And again, I would move that, and they're continuing to provide this support to the refugees. I would move that we donate an amount of $2,000 US through our club funds to this project. Do I have a seconder?
Jim, before we vote on it, Jim, could I just ask, have we had any report on the success of the project to date?
Yes, we have. We've had, I think at this point, 2 different reports about 6 months apart. And in both cases, the report basically is that, a certain number of women had been trained. They'd found work in the areas that they were trained in, and they're moving on to train additional people. And actually, a couple of the women in the second phase of the program are continuing to work in the program to train newer people.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I think that Ron has asked a very good question. It's about, feedback. Is our money going to where we want it to, and is it making a difference? Ron, I don't know whether you're going to be traveling through Georgia on your next international trip, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you about Naveen Yasa, who's the president of the Scarborough Rotary Club. She has a home in Cairo and she visits it quite frequently. And that's the reason why I always like supporting Naveen's project, because she she goes over there and she's hands-on, and she gives us great pictures and feedback. This is probably the third project that she has done for the Zabaleen people, and they work in the biggest garbage dump, which is a former quarry in the middle of Cairo. And these people, there's about 70,000 of them. They make a living sorting garbage, and they've made their homes in the cliffs around the quarry. They've carved schools and churches and homes. Norma and I, when we visited Cairo, we got within sight of it. Not even Norma's incredible persuasive powers could get the bus driver into the quarry, but we did see it from a distance, and it's quite extensive. And Naveen has just done excellent work, in my view, in helping out in that area. So it's that feedback which we need, because we're constantly giving money out, and is it working? Is it doing what we want it to do? So hats off to Naveen and to you, Jim, for all your work in investigating these projects.
And thank you, Jackie. That was a great insight into what Naveen is doing. Just coming back to the Georgia project, I would just call for a vote.
Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, thanks, Laura. All those in favor? Any opposed? Again, that looks like it's carried, and thank you very much. We live in such a privileged part of the world that it's actually a privilege for us to be able to help in our own small way with these projects, and I appreciate your support in enabling us to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Great work on your part and your committee's work. So that's pretty much it for today's meeting. I want to let everybody know that next week we have an in-person hybrid meeting at the Toronto Lawn on February 7th. And we have Tonda Merced, one of our newer members, giving his classification talk, which is always great to hear of our newer members. And I think there's going to be some new potential members joining us at that meeting as well. So please welcome them, since I will not be there. Having said all that, I thought there's one other thing I wanted to say, but I guess I don't. Anyway, thank you. Oh, Walter, you have something to
Yes, I wanted to extend my thanks to Miriam Axsmith. Her church group donated an extra 100 hygiene kits to the York Minster Park out of the cold program. So they were picked up. So again, Miriam, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Highly appreciated. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you to Joanna again for joining us for her first Rotary meeting. And hopefully we'll see you again. Hopefully we'll see you next week at the in-person meetings.
Yep.
Again, with that, I hope everybody has a great week. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Thanks again.
Bye. Bye all.
Bye.
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 Jackie?
Yep.
I'm assuming that Erin's going to email you with all that information.
Tom or I will, and we'll get it to you. Wasn't that a great presentation she did?
Yeah, fantastic.
In terms of, if you can't have the kids, and I understand it's challenging getting them to take time off their courses, but just the degree to which she communicates is so much better than Toronto Metropolitan University and the other awards. Like, God, like if somebody gets $30,000 a year from us and they can't thank us in person, it just it doesn't sit well with me. Anyway.
No, Trail's got a great team there. Between her and Melanie, they've got a really good team.
I know. And I just hope we can get all our new members up there in June to see it in person, because it just makes such a difference to see it.
It does. It does.
By the way, I googled that trumpeter that we were talking about up at the beginning. The name is spelled Skonberg, Skonberg.
Skonberg, SK. I thought it might have been. Yeah. Stephen, am I on the list to attend the behind the scenes?
You know what date? Oh, you're not.
You're not.
Okay, I'm going to try to go. And what about Ganitzi and Norma?
Nope.
Okay, we'll try to get both of them.
Twist their arms, Jackie. We need more people.
Yeah, okay. the link will be in the email, follow-up email. So if you need to, it's right there.
Great. What is our new member? The girl who was Johanna. What is she?
She came to us from the website, and one of her friends in the UK was a Rotarian there and said she could. I think she's just new to the country, so I don't know much more about her.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Right.
So we've got about 5 or 6 new members that have been reaching out. I've been speaking with regularly.
Okay.
And Joseph Marquez I've had a nice conversation with him, and hopefully he'll step back into the club. And he's very active in the community service in youth and vocational.
He is. Do you guys remember? Do you remember Joseph Marquez?
I do. Yeah.
Remember we had that potluck at the Church of the Redeemer where with it was some guy from the Rotary Club of Forest Hill who's he was a consul, South African. Anyway, Joseph cooked the biggest dish of some Filipino food. You remember that? It was he is he's a very religious man and it takes his community service very, very seriously. So he'll be a great asset to the club if we can get him.
I know, and his concern was his amount of time, but I brought him up to speed on that we have hybrid meetings and such in the raw, and he said, I really want to give back. I said, everyone gives back in a different way, but it sounds like you want to be active, which is great.
Great. David, we don't have a meeting, a president's meeting coming up, do we?
It's supposed to be last night. I haven't booked anything. I was waiting to see what happened today with Arthur.
Okay, thanks. Maybe we should just leave it a couple of months or so, because as we get to know more of our new members, maybe we're rushing it in terms of reaching out. Maybe we should wait till the spring. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe when I get back, we maybe have an in-person or something meeting afterwards and talk about potential members that might be a great nominee. I just don't want to leave Arthur alone without having the president-elect in his Rotary year, right? I'd like us to have some list of names that we can approach.
Right. Okay.
Because that was part of Dawn's issue, is that she didn't have anyone she could lean on from a president-elect position, right? So that's key that we have someone as a nominee. So let me think about it. I'll reach out to you guys offline and we can talk further how we want to move forward.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.